Hi, I am Julie. I am a healer and shamanic priestess in the Los Angeles area, and I have been coming out to this creek for many years now, but I had to take a couple months off because we had a gas leak here in the Porter Ranch area that was spewing methane gas from wells 8,000 feet deep below the surface, and these toxic fumes were pouring into our atmosphere and causing a lot of problems for local residents as well as the planet, the greenhouse gases and global warming that these are a contributor of. So if you saw my last video, you know that at the end of the video, I had a direct encounter experience with the spirits of this place. And I turned off the video afterwards just to give myself time to process the profound healing experience that I was gifted with. In those moments, I first sensed something in my solar plexus, and essentially I was met by the guardian of the land. Like, oh, you want to work with this place, you have to go through me. And you may have remembered me saying, I come in the name of the lady, I come in the name of the queen. And whenever I do this work, I approach it from a place of purity, as if to have the pure, unstained heart of a child. And being a sensitive and an empath, most of my life I felt like I had to shield from the world of energy because I'm so sensitive. In these situations, because they are holy and they are healing, Spirit is saying, don't close off, don't shut down, because that's fear, that's judgment, that's you can't live that way anymore. You have to open up. You have to allow the shift to occur through you. You have to be the hollow bone, the pillar of light between heaven and earth. You have to be that. You have to be open. You have to be all in. You can't have one foot in one world and one foot in the other. You have just all in. And so, even though part of me was like, it was like, no, don't go there. Open up. And as I opened up and through my breath, energies were rising up from the earth and from the place around me, through me. And I was able to feel, and I might start crying again, because when I touch profound holiness, I can't do anything but cry, because it's so sacred. It's so beautiful. But I was allowed to feel for this place. And I felt the wound. I felt the pain of Earth Mother it was as if the earth and humanity, it was like we were lovers in the past, and we had this co-creative relationship. We worked in harmony together, consciously together, actively, honoring, not just honoring the seasons and the cycles of creation, but being an active participation with the creative forces of nature. But at some point, we forgot. We learned to behave otherwise. We changed our habits. The sacredness that once existed between humans and this planet was forgotten. It was like we have amnesia. And some of us are getting our memories back. And the pain that I felt, it's like if you had a profound love, a deep heart, true love connection with someone, and then suddenly they just forgot, like they didn't even know you existed anymore. The pain in your heart that you would feel, like, how could you forget? It was that pain of separation. That humans believe in. We are not separate. We are connected. We are intrinsically linked. And I had a Reiki circle this past weekend with my community, and we were up here in the hills, and I had everybody bring some soil from where they live, from their home, and we put the soil together in a communal bowl. And so these energies from different places could commingle and commune together in a sacred way as we brought awareness to ourselves and to the soil and to the earth and the energies connected to the earth. I was told that I live here because the earth called me to this place. And that really resonates. And the Native Americans believed that there is a part of us, our spirit is intrinsically linked with this land. And different spiritual traditions may call this by different names. Dreamwalker is one of them. But your soul is linked to the soul of this planet, or else you wouldn't have an embodiment experience. You wouldn't be in physical form. There is a physical world, physical body link connection there. And you live where you are because that place called you there for something. There's some aspect of the land which is connected to your spirit, your soul, which is meant to be reclaimed. And healed. I'm sorry, but I just got overwhelmed with a whole bunch of energy and I just lost it, so I'm going to have to go back in. And I feel that we could have easily blown up, okay? We were spared. Without a doubt, we were spared. This isn't over. They may have stopped the leak, but the wound is still there, and we need to. It happened to bring our awareness to it. Just like, you know, your back starts bugging you. You're like, what's going on? Your back is talking to you. You have a stomach ache. Your stomach is talking to you. The land is hurting, and we had a major gas leak here, and there's trauma that we're causing to this place all the time when we drill, when we reap all the natural resources and consume all the natural resources, and we don't do something to give back or to balance what we took. We don't, you know what I mean? The Spirit is telling me that the people in the Porter Ranch area are very much linked to healing this place. And what's interesting is because that methane, well, how is methane created? But through decomposition, and then there's a gas that is released. And when it was when that gas was released into our atmosphere, we breathed it. It became a part of us for a season. A certain length of time, we were consistently breathing this air that had consciousness in the form of gas, released from 8,000 feet deep below the surface of the soil. Things go to sleep for a while, and then they wake up. Things go below the surface, and they rise above the surface. There's an ebb and a flow to life. And I feel that there is consciousness that is being awakened at very deep levels within us. And we're coming up on an eclipse, a total solar eclipse, with the new moon in Pisces, sun and moon, tons of planets in Pisces. And they're showing me the planet, and that as the eclipse happens, the moon is passing in front of the sun, it's conjunct with the sun. So as that happens, if we have a universal perspective, is there will be a circle, a shadow of the moon moving across the face of this planet. And I feel that this shadow, as it passes over, it's going to be like, they're showing me a sickle, like it's cutting, slicing. It's like a cosmic reset or a reboot. So it's an opportunity to return. They're saying it's an opportunity to, abrupt endings and beginnings, new beginnings, but it's an opportunity to return back to a state of origin before conflict arose within us. And we need to use that energy. It's a spiritual reset button for ourselves. And what's interesting is we're talking to go back to that point of origin before we became flawed, before we became conflicted within ourselves, before we became separate, individualized, when we existed in pure harmony. Now I know the eclipse is happening in Pacific time, like before sunrise. I want to say it starts around 2 something in the morning and then it ends just around sunrise or before sunrise. But I want to say the peak is, I want to say 4:47 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, but double check. Because I looked that information up like a week and a half ago. And I don't know if it's still here. So we're supposed to use that chunk of time. Oh, but it's interesting, most of us will be sleeping. So maybe we do our preparations and our cleansing and releasing as, the moon is dark right now. So it's a really excellent time to sit in the dark and contemplate, identify what you are conflicted with. Identify your conflicts. How are you conflicted with yourself? What conflicts do you have with other people? And get into a place where you can forgive. And forgiveness is really key right now, because when we forgive, we go back to the point in time before the conflict took place. Spirit keeps showing me that as we heal, it's like there's a great design or pattern that is, I can use as a metaphor. Like the Native Americans wove blankets and they had these amazing designs in them. This is connected to Chumash specifically. A wonderful lady named Kelly told me this story, and I don't know her last name. It's like she entered my life, poof, and then she disappeared from my life. And it's like we tend to manifest situations and events and interactions with people, like these little bubble experiences that just kind of stand out. Pay attention to those, because there's something there. So in this meeting with this lady Kelly, she's Chumash, and her family are weavers, and they weave blankets. And when they're weaving their blankets, if they make a flaw in the design and the pattern, A logical individual would say, okay, we're just going to unweave and go back to the point where the mistake occurred, and then we're going to continue again. That's not what they do. They start over from the very beginning. And that's very symbolic as to how we heal. It's not we're not just healing from this lifetime. We are collectively healing from many, many lifetimes. And especially the ones that took place in the past 3,000 years. Because those are the freshest wounds. But really, we're getting back to a state of unity within self. You know, all is one, one is all. Collectively, we're working towards that goal. And so forgiveness is key. Forgiving ourselves, forgiving each other, and getting to that point where we can really let go, and we can use the energy of this eclipse to let go, to sever what we, to detach from illusion and things we don't need, and conflict. And through that letting go, we can surrender into peace and harmony. So a lot of people that I know, don't necessarily have a Wiccan practice or a pagan practice or an earth-based spiritual practice. Then a lot of people have been asking me, well, how can I work in harmony with the earth and also help heal myself? How can we restore those relationships? And there's a song or a prayer that I'm going to teach you. It's called Ho'oponopono. And Ho'oponopono is a Hawaiian prayer of forgiveness to the earth. But this is, and I generally sing it to the earth, but as I'm singing it, it's interesting because in my mind, I might have images rise to the surface of people or situations that are also being healed through this, because it's all connected. And this is a dulcimer that a friend of mine gave me, and no, I don't really know how to play it, but and I broke one of the strings on it, so it's got 3 strings. So the lines for the prayer are, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. Let me just take a sip of water before I play this for you. But this is something you can chant or sing to yourself or drum with. But speak it. Let it, even whisper it is more powerful than just thinking it alone, because when you intentionally say something, you're releasing that energy outside. It's not just a thought. It's externalized. It's put out into the world. And through sound, it creates a vibration. And abracadabra, I create what I speak. All right. Sing along, please. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Blessed be. I have a feeling of this upwelling of a deep and profound peace. Let's just hold that. Let's honor that peace, that bridge, that relationship has been repaired for now, but we have to keep reminding ourselves of that bridge, of that relationship. And this song, this prayer, can help facilitate a lot of healing. In a time of healing is really, really, really needed in this world. So, I think that's enough for today. Hang on to your chakras, because the eclipse is going to rattle our cages, and whatever we don't need has to go. It's time. Step into your empowerment. Make the choice. Claim it. Who do you want to be? Let's do this. Namaste, and blessed be.